right, we're back. It is that
Happy
every
Monday.
other Monday. And we
Best
have
day
a
of the week.
guest today. We have DJC Game Studios.
Oh my God, Chuck is here.
I'm here. You guys said Turbografx, and I'm here. All right, that's all I'm saying.
We did. We said Turbografx. So, I usually just kind of go around and see how everybody's weekend and everything went before we get started on stuff. So, Rob, what'd you do?
What did I do? I finally completed my quest to start downloading stuff off the Wii U shop before they.
Oh God, I got to do that.
So it was a really obnoxious procedure that I had to go through. So as it turns out, a guinea pig chewed through the charging cable for my gamepad. I can't actually connect the Wii U to my new Wi-Fi without the gamepad, so I had to order a new charging cable off of eBay off of Amazon. Wait for that to get here so I can charge up my gamepad so I can set up everything so I can actually start downloading shit off of the Wii U shop. And one of the games I actually downloaded actually happened to be a Turbografx 16 game, but I have been playing Fire Emblem for the GBA all weekend long. So that's how I've been spending my free time.
I keep wanting to buy Fire Emblem Warriors just to go through it because the only Fire Emblem game I've really played was been I want to say it's Radiant Sun. It was the GameCube one.
Yeah,
which was an excellent game. It was a great game.
I love all the Fire Emblem games that I've played so far. But honestly, if you played one, you played every single one. So if you like Path of Radiance, then by all means, just at random pick another Fire Emblem game. You're probably also having a great time.
Well, I know I know the Warriors one is
that
not going to
Fire Emblem Warriors is not.
Hi, Carla.
I'm not going to say a true Fire Emblem game, but
it's not. It's not. I wouldn't even consider it one. It's just got those characters, right? It's like saying
that's the other thing about Fire Emblem. There are so
Fire Emblem
many characters, though. So it's like I have no connection to any of the Fire Emblem characters other than in the immediate game that I'm playing right that moment. After the game is over, I forget every character. So other than
that's fair.
The hot ones, I remember them, how they look, but.
I think the main one I remember is Ike, and that's because he was in Radiance.
Yeah, he was in. Easy to remember. And Smash.
And he's in Smash. And my buddy I play Smash with sometimes just likes to abuse the hell out of Ike. So I don't have good memories of Ike, but I just have memories of Ike.
Actually, Chrom from Fire Emblem Awakenings, I remember him, and then I think he also became a Smash character as well. So
yeah.
And Marth, everyone knows Marth.
Yeah, Marth. Yep. So. DJC Studios, what you been doing?
Me?
Yes,
Nothing.
You.
No, I'm just kidding. I've been playing a lot of. I've been playing. So I'm on a really big 16-bit kick this year, man. Really trying to get a ton more physical, complete in box Genesis games, especially the early like black box ones. Like that's been kind of my thing, and then lately, we've all been talking about, even on on the Amico show and on the, and then you guys talking about it, just a lot more 16-bit, like Turbografx games, anyways. And that's what I'm starting to play it again. So I got my Pi hooked up and I'm playing, and I got originals too. And I got, it's just so much easier to load them up on a Pi than to kind of pull out my Duo R and try to mess around with that. Plus it's HD, but yeah, I've been having a good time with that. So I'm kind of glad I'm glad you asked me on because I have a lot to talk about.
Good.
I love the Turbografx. I grew up with that. My friends had Sega and Nintendo, and I eventually got that, but my system was Turbografx. I wanted the underdog. I had that while they had the other ones.
Yeah, see, I didn't get into Turbografx 1 because the availability really wasn't super there in my area for it. It also didn't have a lot of push in the market in the United States, so it was kind of like an unknown oddity. And then my first experience was with the Express, and I'm like, a $300 handheld, what the hell are you smoking here? Yeah. Not realizing it used hue cards, and it just played what was on the Turbografx. That would have made it way better. I just didn't realize that at the time. But before we get too deep into that, Brother Mike, what'd you do?
What did I do this weekend?
Relax and enjoy the view from all the hard work you've been doing the last couple weeks.
Oh no, I did more hard work.
Dude, your property is beautiful. I gotta say.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's nice.
I'll tell you, if I could find pictures of what it looked like before, with the disintegrating half knockdown fence and all the wooded area that my son, who came home from Costa Rica with his machete, came and helped me sliced up. Yeah, it really was.
Have none of you guys heard of a chainsaw? Like,
I've heard of a chainsaw, but
okay.
he bought a machete because he's 17. You know,
chainsaw.
They even make like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator. You got to have
exactly.
Machete.
So I mean, I spent on it. So
I don't know how comfortable I am with you supporting him, just hacking away at trees with a machete.
I don't know how I'm comfortable I am with you not supporting him. That's the weird part. So.
Okay, fair point.
It's like every guy's dream.
And it is an agricultural tool. That's the.
Is that how he sold it to you?
Yeah, I was like, you lost me on that. It's a toy,
that's why he didn't have to. But that's also why he didn't have to bring it through customs. Because
that's a show. Good to see you, my man.
There you go.
I adore Predator. That is in like my top 10 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. It's a phenomenal
my top
movie.
5. It's so
I'd have to go through my list again. I know True Lies is way up there.
I love True Lies.
It's a
Terminator 2. Actually, I'm a pretty staunch Last Action Hero supporter.
Oh yeah,
that one doesn't hit my top 10. It's fun in its own cheesy way, and I've grown to appreciate it. When it came out, I couldn't stand that movie. I've grown an appreciation of it.
Well, but
I was afterwards. Yeah,
but I also love the bad guy because he was the same.
I love him too. What's his name? Charles Dance. He's such a great bad guy.
He did do a good job as a bad guy. Terminator, Predator, True Lies, those are all phenomenal.
No, but Charles Dance was also the bad guy in the Golden Child.
Yep.
Yes. Oh God, that's right. He was the devil in there. I forgot about that.
Well, he was kind of like devil's like minion.
Well, he was like a minion.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll stand by you with Conan. I thought Conan was a solid movie. My big problem with Conan was the 10-minute stare down sequence. I thought that was kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Other than that, I like it.
Commando also had a really good bad guy.
I never played the 16-bit game of True Lies. I didn't even know it had one.
I really like Jamie Lee Curtis's dancing in True Lies.
Oh,
hi, Shiny Hunter.
That was a good scene.
That was.
Welcome to the
stream. My glasses got all steamed up.
I don't think we've met before. Welcome. Good to see you.
Yeah, welcome. He looks new. Sorry, I'm just getting the chat up. So if anybody has said hi,
Golden Child is interesting when
you're young.
Love
because of Charlotte Lewis.
What's up, Bonnie?
Predator's pretty amazing. I don't know if I call it his best. The 2 Terminator films are really, really up there. God, those are good. And I have a soft spot for Commando. It's so over the top and cheesy. I just love it.
And very young Alyssa Milano.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, that was a weird way to say.
So we have a good chat tonight. The only thing I did this weekend is I finished a bunch of videos, and then as I got those videos finished for the other channel, I realized, wait a minute. I'm walking into on-call right after this week. I guess I'll just keep making videos. So I'm trying to get things scheduled up for that week and the week after. That way I kind of got a little bit of buffer just in case I get the crap kicked out of me with the on-call. Other than that, I did a bunch of Monster Hunter Rise, which I've kind of been cracked addicted to. Nice. I picked up a new game that is in early access that Slunkabomb recommended, called EX Zodiac, and I kind of want to see if I can work out a video for that this week, because essentially it's a new Star Fox game for all intents and purposes, using none of those characters but playing and looking a lot like Star Fox. And it even runs good on the Steam Deck. I only have one issue with it on the Steam Deck where it crashed on me one time on a cutscene on the first boss, and then after that it never had another issue. So it runs great on the Steam Deck. It plays great on the Steam Deck. It plays great on my computer. I'm hoping, since it's kind of a Kickstarter thing, they're going to bring it out on multiple platforms and more people get an opportunity to play it other than just on Steam. That would be ideal, because I feel like, any Switch owner or anybody who just has nostalgia for those kinds of games needs an opportunity to play that. So that was the majority of my weekend.
Nice.
So yeah. Oh, and now I have tacos.
Oh,
and
right.
food has magically appeared on stream, which is now becoming
bring some to the
translucent with the
restaurant?
background
my
because of
goodness.
green.
Okay, what kind of tacos are those? Because those.
What kind of tacos am I having tonight, dear?
What's up,
Pork
Ray?
tacos with poblano peppers and onions, pickled onions, and a chipotle crema.
Okay, you guys getting this?
All right, so is that a HelloFresh recipe?
Yes.
Yep, I've got that recipe. I've actually got that one. Those are delicious.
Mazen's like, taco hype! Hey, Ray, how you doing? So we are here tonight to talk about one of the underdog systems, at least in the United States, of the 16-bit era, and that is the Turbografx 16. Now, this was a pretty underrated console for its day and age that a lot of people did not discover till much, much later when it kind of became like a retro darling console. It was much, much bigger in Japan and known as the PC Engine. I think it was also released in France under that name. But it was redesigned, which took them like over a year to do to come up with this big, clunky mess of a thing. I'm sorry, man. I prefer the PC Engine design. It just looks nicer.
It's a more compact design. I don't know why they made it bigger because you didn't need that much space inside.
You really did not. It was just kind of a waste to make it that
that's
big.
What we do here in the States is we make everything bigger.
Everything has to be
That's
bigger.
right.
More radical.
Oh, Cinema Flash is here. We got all kinds of people popping in here tonight. This is dope. Thank you, everybody, for popping in.
I have to stop the stream for a second to let you guys know I found this
ice cream
today.
now?
I was going to say, is that your brand, Nick?
Dude, you make the greatest Swedish style light ice cream, man.
Awesome.
Holy crap.
Turbografx 16. I like
There
it.
you go.
No,
We're going to run with
This
it.
is 270 calories for this pint and
16
grams
Turbo
of-
Tacos engine.
3 grams of sugar. Damn. This is
And
nice.
Shiny says, hi to the original Next Level Gaming. Why did they make the controller wires so short? That's actually a good question.
I would honestly guess it's probably because they
Original
designed it for the Japanese market, and they didn't really take the
Yeah,
U.S.
because the
style
Famicom's that
gaming.
way too, isn't it? It's got this stupid short cable.
Like it's on. I was schooled during the my GameCube video that in Japan it's customary to sit on the floor right in front of the TV, right next to your console. So you don't really need a really long controller cord. I think that's
is that why? Is that the reason?
That's what I was told.
That's interesting.
Like all the consoles that seem to come directly from there, like with the Famicom, those controllers are.
Where the hell did you get that cable from?
That's a Turbografx one, you liars.
I'm
just kidding.
One?
This is from the Mini. It's the USB one.
Okay, I was about to say that looks ridiculous, even for a modern controller.
No, it is designed exactly like it. It's from the Mini, but yeah, the Mini
the actual physical controller design's fine. I'm talking about the cable. Well, that's interesting. The reason they made that so short is because you're supposed to sit on the floor next to the console, 2 inches from your TV.
Yeah, the Turbografx controller, but the cables were all really small. Like, on my original ones, I think I have an original one here. Hold on.
And then also why they designed the Mini NES and SNES the way they did, where you actually had to be sitting next to it to press the reset.
This is the original one right here.
That's still decently long. I mean, it's
probably
about 4 or 5 feet.
It's 5 feet, yeah.
Yeah.
And they probably doubled that. It's almost like 8 or almost 10 feet on the Mini.
Insurance Cybercore. I think I played Cybercore and Blazing Lasers. Sinstrom, I don't think I've played.
Blazing Lasers great.
Blazing Lasers is amazing. That's a
that's good.
Scepter's saying just buy extensions.
Yeah, they had extensions.
And that's what I do for like Saturn and those.
This stream brought to you by Nick Ice Cream. It's so good that it'll make you rage.
This ice cream is bad, guys. I'm not even kidding.
Go away!
Damn ice cream! I can't get past the first level.
The cool thing about that, I always loved about those controllers, though, is it was the first one to have a built-in turbo. like comes standard, you know?
Yeah, there's some games that are kind of like, I think you were talking about it on Astro Smash, that there's some games that are kind of weird to play if you're emulating them, unless you have a controller where you can map a button to turbo. Dude, because it built some of the games around using the turbo gun and just turning it on.
Ninja Spirit, I was just playing, and it was funny because I was doing the Astro Smash stream earlier, and Sai had come in and said, "Hey, you could probably use your mini controller on your Pi because, and it didn't work on the first Pi, but I have two of them, and I have another one that has emulation station with turbo on it, and I plugged it into this one, and it actually did work. So I could actually. Where's the flamingo?
We got requests for flamingos already.
Over there. Wait. Oh, hold on.
There's one up on the shelf behind you, man. The talking one.
This one's just sitting on the floor for no reason.
There you
go. Yay! Flamingo noises.
He's not even on his own show, and he has to do flamingo.
Of course he does, because that's what people want, man.
I'm just the flamingo guy.
You could no death around ice cream depending on the calories. That's right. You know what? I don't think it matters when it comes to ice cream. You just keep eating it. Carla's not happy she's seen flamingos.
That's awesome. Thank you. No, but like on Ninja Spirit is what I was using that for. Like, you have to have that turbo on, or it's like...
Yeah, is that why no, that can't be why I'm so terrible at that game. I'm just terrible at that game. That's a great game, by the way. It runs great.
I love it.
It looks beautiful,
so now it plays better.
Man, it's hard.
Oh, it is. I've never beat it. I'll be doing a run on it soon, though.
I ran into another one that was really hard to get, too, that I hadn't even heard of before. Turrican? Turrican. It's a good game. You play as a futuristic soldier, but good God, it's hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had that on the Genesis. That was
it is kind of British hard.
Have you ever played Psycho Chaser, where it's basically a shooter, but you're a guy walking like this robot dude, and you're walking along like on a floor, but you're shooting. It's like a shooter, but a dude that's walking instead. It's it just kind of scrolls upward. It's fun. You could shoot behind you, sideways, forward. It's really, which obviously their shooters are just, there's so many. I'd say the majority.
There's tons on there. I'm gonna unabashedly start eating on stream, so you guys talk amongst yourselves for a minute.
I just want to say hello to everyone in chat. I don't have the chat up to where I can type in there, but I see you guys. I'm checking it. But
I like shooters that involve people somehow, like flying people or walking people.
Do you get now? Who here ever did anyone here ever play it when it came out, like the turbo, or was it everyone kind of afterwards?
Hey, Mockingjay.
I played the Express
walking gun, yeah.
So I had the Express. I didn't have the Express. We sold the Turbo Express at Electronics Boutique when I worked there.
Oh yeah.
So I had a chance to play it.
Yeah.
So.
No, that was cool. That was like the coolest thing. I always wanted one of those because they were literally a portable Turbografx, because they played the exact same cards you put into the game, And
that's retrospect, I kind of want one just to have it.
I still do.
Just because I think it's neat looking.
Absolutely, and they're so expensive now. They're so expensive. And a lot of people the thing with the turbo too, and I think this was with a lot of those type of systems or CD-ROM systems. I guess this was HuCard though was the capacitors was always going bad, all the NEC stuff. So they always had to have the capacitors redone, and then you had a lot of them would put bigger screens and nicer screens in them to make them a little bit bigger, a little more better resolution. But no, I got to the point where I was I've eventually got a Genesis and a Super Nintendo, but I still was rocking my Turbografx. I eventually got the updated version, which was the CD and HuCard all in one, which was called the Turbo Duo. I remember at the time I was like working under the escalator at Sears, like where you get like watch batteries and engraving and all that stuff. And me and the girl on the other side of the escalator did engraving, and we were just out of high school. Actually, I was still in high school, about to graduate. So I was like 17 or something like that. And me and her would always put up the we didn't care about those jobs. We put up the little paper, has the clock, be back in 5 minutes. But we would just go out in the mall and just shop and like check things out. We'd come back and we'd see no customers. We move it another hour and just go back out in the mall. And, like eventually I got fired, but we'd always go to like I think it was Funkoland or Game. I can't remember what it was back then. Babbage's, Funkoland, GameStop, Electronics Boutique, whatever happened to be the thing at the time. But they were. I was like, I can't wait. They're getting the Duo in. I'd save up all my money. I think it was like $300 I spent on it, and it came with like a bunch of games. And anyways, I always loved it. And then even when it started just kind of going down, and you saw like not much more coming out for it, I was ordering through catalogs, ordering through Japan, getting PC Engine games. I had a stack of 60 some games, and like a dummy because I didn't know they'd be worth much. I sold them all for next to nothing.
I feel like that's half of our stories. Like I think most
and that's everything, right?
Because I did that with like Genesis and NES and Super Nintendo and Xbox, and I needed money to get a new console to play the latest and greatest thing. I didn't expect to be coming back. And I agree with Zombie that not so much on Splatterhouse. I have a hard time with Splatterhouse, but Jackie Chan's Kung Fu Action is a ton of fun. And Splatterhouse is fun. I just find it kind of frustrating. I think because it's basically designed around that turbo again. And it makes it hard for me to actually get hits in on certain bosses.
What's up, Manicro? Congrats on your outrun world record, Manicro. I think, actually.
Oh, that's awesome.
World record in outrun?
I think on every route now.
Wow.
Really?
Steve, I don't know if you want to elaborate on that, but
please do. I mean,
yes.
I think the last route I think was this morning or last night uploaded basically today.
What qualified? Yeah, I'd love to know this. Please tell us what qualifies the world record, because that is freaking awesome.
I know it's on speedrun.com. I don't know if
probably zero crashes.
I might as well just stop talking because he'll probably answer the question. But
yeah, the PC Engine games though, like the American Turbografx releases or the North American release was literally like the most expensive right now. I mean, you can get PC Engine versions for usually half the price of the other ones, you know?
Yeah, apparently those are getting super expensive now too.
And I almost might want to just start loading up on some PC Engine stuff because, I mean, I could show you what I actually have complete in box.
Carla, you have a Turbografx 16 box just hanging up on your wall like art?
I was doing that for a while with my
that's kind of cool.
PlayStation.
I rescued some NES boxes that someone was hanging up like that.
So I got Legendary Axe.
Hold on, let me do solo layer.
I got there we go. Yeah, I got Legendary Axe complete in box, and these are my childhood boxes actually too. I had to rebuy the
cover art on them.
But believe it or not, like I kept them in a box. With this, my dad and me used to play all the time. That's my original Power Golf. Sega Fantasy Zone on Turbografx, kind of crazy, huh? Great version, almost like the arcade too.
That is.
And then another great arcade port, Hyperdyne Sidearms, which was I think by Radiance. For a second, I thought this said Rare. But yeah, that's a great shooter. Another arcade port, and I think it's the only. I don't know if it's been on many other platforms, but at the time, this was the first. Was Pac-Land. That was the platforming Pac-Man game back in the 80s. I think it was 89 that came out.
It's on the Famicom, but I'm sure it's not as good.
And then Victory Run, which was the only driving game I ever got on there. And even though it was kind of like, I don't know, like a cross between Outrun and Rad Racer, because it was kind of in between. It was a really good one. And this one I just did a play on. I didn't get much or get too far because I didn't have my turbo buttons, but Tiger Road, great anime style, kind of cartoon style. They went with this, and a little different than the arcade, but I love this version more. I really do. And then my final one complete is Bubble Bobble 3 Parasol Stars.
Nice.
Which is kind of like it's a cross between Bubble Bobble and Rainbow Islands. It's just one of those just addictive puzzle games. And then what I have left of my boxes that I have to make complete and rebuy the games, I have a Kadash box, like in almost perfect shape. I mean, there's got a few of the tabs. Legendary Axe 2. And then I have a Ninja Spirit. And like these boxes are about $100 a piece, so it's that's why I'm holding on to them. Splatterhouse, and this one's pretty expensive. This is Air Zonk. That's my actual original one I bought as a kid. So I just need to collect the rest of these, and then I'm going to move on to collecting more in box. But it's unbelievably expensive. I don't even know where to begin on this stuff. PC Engine a little easier. North American Turbografx, it's insane. It's insane, the prices.
I've noticed that. I mean, on a separate note, I've kind of noticed that too with Japanese versus American Saturn games. Like Dreadpool and Cerebral Paul were at a convention in Florida last week, and for like $60, I was able to get import versions of Fighters Mega Mix.
They made more. That's probably why. I'm guessing that there was just a huge quantity of those in Japan.
It was Fighters Mega Mix, Fighting Vipers, and Winter Heat. And all three of them are like $20 a piece. But the US versions of those games are upwards of over $100 a piece.
Yeah, that's not a huge surprise.
It's unbelievable, man.
I think the market has just exploded more over here too. It's kind of ridiculous. And apparently, Lit learned to drive manual through Victory Run. That's kind of awesome. He beat Tiger Road as well.
Tiger Road's challenging. Now that I got my turbo hook up, I'm going to play it again.
So maybe it's just me. That's a game I didn't care for. I'm not sure, and I don't know why. It was something.
It's hard and annoying. It's hard and annoying. That's why. But it reminds me. It's not like, and I said this I think in my video, is like it's not. I don't know why they did cardboard because back then everything was NES was Master System was plastic. Sega always did plastic.
The Sega did for a while, and then with the Genesis later on they went to cardboard.
Yeah,
it's not like Ghost and Goblins hard, but it's almost there. It's the point where it kind of gets annoying because you're kind of keep repeating. And
the hit detection is cheesy,
and it knocks you back. It knocks you back into a hole. And that's what the challenge is. You kind of time it. Like you got to jump up, and that was the cool thing of the turbo switch. If you turned your action button on turbo, you would like you're swinging that axe or that ball like that. So when you're jumping, you're knocking things away from you instead of being knocked back. So if you don't have the turbo on almost every game uses that. It gives you such a better advantage, and everything's harder without that turbo switch for the most part.
Okay, apparently Phantom answered the question.
The chat kind of went crazy. Raptor said about.
Okay.
I'll read it. What he said. Yes, he has 12 golds currently. Have all the world records for the Genesis version speed runs of Outrun on routes A, B, C, D, and E on all stages. And
crazy.
He's been competing with the former world record holder guy. I think he is now a number one enemy. I think of J. Fred. I think was the one who was holding the previous records. Steve went after him with a vengeance, and probably made him wish that he'd never heard the name, whatever name Steve is using. I don't know. I want to say it, but.
What's up, Freak of Four? Good to see you, man.
What's happening?
What's up, Freak?
Hey.
So, I did mess around with quite a few of these today. To pull up my list of which ones I have and which ones I've messed with the most. Let me just boot up my console here. Now, Turrican I've messed with a couple of times. That one's okay. Splatterhouse, I've played the Genesis version more than
that'd be Splatterhouse
Genesis
2 and 3.
Splatterhouse 2 and 3 more than I played the original. To be quite fair. Samurai Ghost I messed with a few times. I don't know how many of you guys have messed with that one.
I played it occasionally. I've never got too deep into that game, but I know of it.
I think I got to like stage 2 on it, and that's about as far as I got. It's kind of a rough game. I didn't mess with the original R-Type on here today. I didn't mess with Ninja Spirit, but I messed with that one on several different occasions.
Mm-hmm.
That one's quite fun. I think I've messed with Super Star Soldier a decent amount too.
That's fantastic. I love that game. It's that and Blazing Lasers are almost similar on their vertical scroll, but so fun and fast and just colorful. And
I messed with both Legendary Axes. And
I like
have Legendary Axe too. There's no axe. The fuck?
There is axe in Legendary too. It's the main big weapon. It takes a long time to get to it though.
I was about to say, because I went from like a short sword to some chain thing to a longer sword, and then I got to I beat the first boss and got into the second stage, and then why they put a timer in this game? That's nitpick number 2, because fuck that noise when you put me in a maze. Screw you, buddy.
It's you have to almost get all your power-ups, like you have to get the full power, and then there's like 3 different levels you get, or power levels you get to. Once you get to the higher power level, then you're like in that waterfall stage where you have to keep jumping up on those blocks.
That's where I got. That's
the very
and
top.
Then I got lost in there.
You get to the top of that, and the axe is the next bubble is the axe, and you get it, and it basically is 1-hit kills on everything. The only thing about that axe is it's big, but it's like not much reach. I rather have the grappling hook or whatever that thing is, over anything, because to me that has the long reach. You can kill the zombies, knock them out. But once again, like I said, the axe is a couple hits and your boss is dead, so it kills a boss easy.
I mean, Jackie Chan action kung fu goes without saying. That game's fun. Yeah. Final Soldier is a really good shooter. I was quite enjoying that one. All the Bonks games, I think I've messed with like 1 or 2 of the Bonks games, and they're all fun. I didn't run into any of those that weren't like fun.
Yeah, they're and those are the ones I think a lot of people have, if they ever heard of Turbografx, think of. And I don't want to say they're played out, but they're awesome platformers. But it's just like Super Mario; it's so played out. I don't want to go back to it right away.
And the one that I got addicted to before we jumped in here was Dragon's Curse. Primarily because I finally managed to find like the second stage, and once I started kind of getting into it and understanding a little bit better, I'm like, okay, I could really sit down and play this because it's kind of a mix between an RPG and a platformer, and I'm like, I kind of like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the main ones that I've messed with so far out of it, and I think there's a few more, but we'll probably get to those, like Blazing Lasers and
that was a good one.
Lords of Thunder. I never got Gates.
I got that on my video list. The Lords of Thunder. That is
Lords of Thunder's got such good music.
Oh man, all that metal, all that rock and roll.
It's funny because I have Lords of Thunder for the Sega CD.
Nobody has it for Sega CD. Come on. I'm just messing with you.
Just saying.
And it's probably worth a ton, I bet, too.
I'm not sure. I think the Turbografx version is probably more expensive.
I'm gonna check it out. I know that one. Like I used to own it too. Once again, stupid for selling it. Lords of Thunder. I bet it goes for many. Yeah, you're looking at about just in the complete in jewel case with instructions, about $350.
How's that compared to the Sega CD version though? Is it more expensive?
No, here's a Sega CD version for $500, but I mean, let me see what they've sold for.
What? Hold on, let me look at the Game Eye app. Game Eye is what I typically use for this stuff.
Okay, a Sega CD version sold complete and obviously complete for $450 recently.
It's okay, Panda. I'm hoping to get melted by it. We're good.
Yeah, it looks like it's in the 4s and 5s, depending on that. So it's worth more.
Hey, Alpha Nerd, how you doing, my man? Good to see you.
Wow. Oh, and then there's Winds of Thunder.
It's good to see.
Yeah, Winds of Thunder is the PC Engine version, which is going to be cheaper to find.
Well,
but I think it's all in Japanese though.
Okay, because there is a Lords of Thunder on the Duo. Okay.
Yeah, that's the North American one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one. Yeah, you're paying about 2 to 3, depending on how the packaging is.
Wow.
So yours is worth a ton. Yours is worth close to $5.
Wow.
Thanks, Image.
I don't know if I've seen a stream without it though. So
Gate of Thunder's great too. I agree. Scepter Sever.
Either way, the soundtrack kicks ass.
Brand soon will just be a symbol.
Yeah, you're right. The soundtracks are awesome on their CDs, and the PC Engine / Turbo sound effects, even for the hue cards, is some of my favorite. Like I could listen to Airzonk. Like I actually downloaded the Airzonk soundtrack and listened to it. Like, is it?
That's a super
their
underrated
music
game.
is great. I don't know.
I don't hear enough people talk about that game when they mention.
I liked
it's
Airzonk.
a really good game.
I liked Airzonk. I thought it was a solid shooter. It had a great soundtrack. It has a really solid soundtrack.
Did Jim Snake in? Where's Jim?
Yeah, Jim. I said hi to Jim a while ago.
Jim!
He's been trying to say
Let's get to see you, Jim! And Bloody Wolf. I had mixed feelings on Bloody Wolf. On one hand, I really like that game. On the other hand, I find it kind of annoying because it's kind of isometric. It's got like a lot of weird jumping. When you get power-ups, they're kind of limited because you get the shotgun or whatever, and it's only got so many bullets. I got killed multiple times because I couldn't figure out how to get off the bike for a while.
Driving the bike inside the building and stuff.
yes. And if you use all the fuel, it explodes. And if you don't get off of it soon enough, you die. Can be very frustrating at times. It's a good game, though. I think it'd take more getting used to than the time I put into it to really get a feel for it. I don't think it would replace anything like, say, Contra for me, mostly just because it's just not that type of game.
Yeah. No.
Right? But it's still a good game in its own right.
I more thought about
yes, I did, Jim. I'm sorry.
Instead of Contra, I was thinking more of a game like a side-scrolling version of Commando.
Yeah, it's a little bit more like that, or like a Rambo 3 on the Genesis. It reminds me a lot of that too.
Yeah, it gives me a little bit of Rambo 3. Except
only you're like missing a button because I think Rambo 3 had special items mapped to a particular button.
I have a question.
POW, yeah.
Go, Rob.
Oh, POW.
So, I'm not. Don't take it as me like criticizing or questioning you, but I'm curious what you mean by a side-scrolling version of Commando that isn't. Like, do you mean like slower paced? Because to me, a side-scrolling version of Commando is Contra. So,
so the reason I don't say Contra is because Contra was a platformer in that you were on a level like Contra to me also is like Metal Slug and games like this.
Mm-hmm.
Commando was a free roaming Ikari Warriors type game. And so this game with the addition of the ability to jump, because you had to jump, especially like at the first level, you had to jump over fences and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt like you were running and gunning, and then you went into like a room and you'd kill all the people and get the hostage. So it felt like a lot of what Commando was like if it was a side scroller.
Okay.
Or, Commando / Ikari Warrior / games like that.
Yeah, it's an isometric side-scrolling shooter, meaning you can move up and down in the screen, not just side to side, but you're always kind of progressing to the right, if that makes sense. Well, my hands are moving.
Did you ever notice the guys when they get shot? They look like Fred Sanford having a heart attack. They're like,
yes,
this is a big one, Elizabeth. They're like always doing this before they die.
And they had that little bit of blood splatter in their chest.
Right. It's like, oh, it's the big one.
Best Turbografx game is Legendary Axe. Mainly because it's the only game I get to play. Best 17 seconds of my life.
Yeah, the original one is a hard game, and it's I like 2 better. I've never went all the way to the end of the first one, but the boss is massive at the end. They were so known for their giant bosses on almost a lot of their platforming games.
I struggled with the second boss. That boulder is getting the tempo right to hit it and to get on the rope to try to avoid a lot of damage.
Especially when there were
really
it's all timing. It's really just all timing. You can learn it. Once you learn it, it's like muscle memory. You'll get past it.
Do what?
And there were 2 boulders.
2 boulders and 2 bears.
Yeah. Oh, the bears weren't too bad.
Yeah.
Now, I was able to deal with the bears without
dragons.
too much trouble. I mean, I got beat up a little bit because there's like 2 of them, and it was hard to keep them on one side, especially since they had a higher vertical than I did on my main character, which is terrifying for a grizzly bear.
What is going?
Never put that image in my head again.
What is going on in the chat?
I don't know. Everybody went crazy.
I can't tell if Panda is like giving you a high praise or if he's
I'm
like
not sure either. So first we have Ever Canadian. It says, I joined and all I hear Mike saying, kill all the hostages.
That's what I heard too, to be fair. So I was trying not to call you out on it.
Jeez, Phil was an accountant. I don't know if that's high praise or not.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah, the first one
I'll take it.
I don't like the look of it in the field. I guess it does kind of suck. I like the second one. That second one to me, and I don't think it was originally meant to be a sequel, but it has way better power-ups, way better bosses, fluid control. You got that, like I said, that
that first boss is so weird.
And
he's like, I got it in that video trailer. I show
it's so weird. So do you guys want to pull the video and go into some of these while we like?
Yeah, we can talk about this. Yeah, if you want to pull it up, I'll.
So let's go ahead and pull this up.
And hopefully it's not too loud. I kind of lowered it. So Kadash was one that I always remembered. Obviously, I had as a kid. It's just I mean, what do you want to call it? Action RPG.
I
grinding
RPG.
Crazy one.
Pete's agreeing that you look like James Hetfield if he was an accountant.
But yeah, it had a good story too. I thought it was you're going to different villages. I even like where you go to the one village and you shrink down. You take like a potion, you shrink down because everybody is like a foot tall, and then you become a foot tall, and then the village is now full size.
I never got very far in this game. I need to put more time into it, but I really struggled with this one a lot to be able to get anywhere.
You got to grind because like right here, they should have had their hit points up to like 15 or level 15. Because to go into level 7, and this is what the 5th or 6th, like you're going to be grinding like this instead of just hitting him with one hit and making him and killing him. So it's like you got to I would grind in the first level, and just because everything respawns, I would just keep grinding until my hit points were at least up to 10 before moving on to even the first boss. Because then you're stuck doing this stuff, where it's taking 5, 6, 7 hits just to get by stuff. But once
I used the ninja too. That was kind of like my preferred guy.
And co-op is good. Ninja. Remember, you could play up to I think on Turbo you could play 4 people at the same time, which is amazing.
Did I make a mistake going to the cave right away? Because I felt like I struggled mightily right at the beginning.
They did the same thing, Mike. I went right into the cave, and I wondered if the.
Well, you go into the first level, which has those pigs that look like they have a big bottle or a ham or whatever they're holding.
Okay, I think that's where I was at.
I'll grind away on those until my hit points.
Well, I guess the other issue is you had to jump over the green slime.
Oh, those things! I hate those things.
I couldn't time the jumps over the green slime.
And then you get stuck in it, and then you gotta like.
Oh, then I got stuck in the water. Because I got fell into the water.
This is a good one here. Yeah. Then the water just knocks you around till you die.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a hard one to get out of, to be honest. Yeah, I love Legendary Axe 2. Like I just think it's so much more fluid. The graphics are just way better.
They are
just way better.
Yeah, Alpha. These Turbo games are actually pretty fun. Both Legendary Kadash and this one. And honestly, Legendary X1 isn't bad either.
It's not bad. I think it was an early game too.
It
was just a really early game where I didn't think they did. It wasn't to me. Here's that first boss you're talking about.
Yeah, this guy's weird. He wasn't super hard. I died like once to him because I wasn't getting the jump pattern down right.
I used to crouch and hit him, like poke him in the foot with like this sword. This guy's doing like one hit at a time or whatever, but
yeah, that's about what I was able to do and not take hits. Like you can get 2 if you're quick,
because he'll kick you. He'll kick you away.
You'll get kicked.
Yeah, I love like just the effort they put into like the color palette on this system is so great too. Color and sound
it's got a really unique color palette. This is the thing about 90s that I always kind of liked is Like the Genesis had its own color palette, so did the Super Nintendo and this. Everything was kind of like really unique.
Well, this was an easy. This was a weird. Here's how I kind of feel about the graphics on the Turbografx.
Yeah, there's the axe.
It felt.
Oh, there is the axe.
It felt very NES with an extended palette, and like when you compared it to the Genesis from a like sprite standpoint and that kind of thing, the Genesis had bigger character sprites and things like that, but the color palette on the Turbografx blew it away in some cases.
Yeah, but there's some games that it did better than the Genesis.
Absolutely.
But then there's some that it couldn't. It's really weird. Like Shadow of the Beast, I figured was one of those, you know?
Oh yeah, Psygnosis is.
Oh, they're amazing. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
This is one of the coolest looking games, I think, on the system.
Yes.
They did great parallax scrolling.
Yes.
Almost like the arcade.
But this is a hard as nails game. I'm not even gonna. I would love to see like an indie
I'm good until
just
like
even
the
a
third
speed
to
run
fourth,
of this.
probably the fourth level. The fourth level, I haven't got much farther. I don't think I've made it to level like the fifth.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get your power ups and keep them, you can start to kind of plow through things.
Yeah,
But it
and
takes
the
you a
turbo
while to
is
get
your
them,
friend.
and then if you get touched, it's pretty much a one-hit kill.
But I
And then you
love
gotta
how
try
you
to
can
grab
jump
everything
the whole.
again.
You could jump the whole length of the screen, like with you, and then you get your clones, so you can have up to 3 guys fighting at the same time. Once again, they have to have gigantic bosses.
What, for Ninja Spirit Lit? I'm sorry, I'm behind on chat, man.
Oh, here, Nick, check this out. Your tree guy. Here's a good tactic.
Oh my
here.
god, this guy.
So he's got all 3 of them. I usually just use that, but look he switches weapons with the select button to throwing stars, which I totally forgot about.
Really? I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, so then you just jump away when he lunges and keep throwing the stars, but your clones are throwing the stars as well, and let them take the hits until he dies that quick. This one's a tricky one. And it's constant too. It's just like you gotta just be it takes skill in learning it. I think this is the level I have a hard time. I think I did it once. The final boss is like a bunch of guys like hanging on a kite, and they're just shooting stuff at you. These guys here.
Yeah, this one is a little bit Legend of Cage-like. I agree. Made it to the list. Starts with you following, trying to get back.
Chuck, is this like a montage of gameplay you put together? Or are we looking?
Yeah,
at...
I pulled it from the internet, but yeah,
Okay.
I edited this all together. Yeah, I took like long play videos.
Are these
and
guys
stuff
on
like
a
that.
kite? Is that what that's supposed to be? A kite?
Yeah. It's like it's floating in the air.
The battle kite.
Battle kite.
Hey, it's kind of dope. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's
Kind of like the idea of a battle kite. That's kind of tight.
now we get into some shooters. Gate of Thunder, which someone was in the chat was saying earlier. It's one of my
Wait,
favorites.
Turbografx had a Ninja Gaiden? I didn't know that.
Yep, they did. They had Shinobi too,
Nice.
and Outrun, and Altered Beast. PC Engine, but yeah, same thing. The sound. I remember popping this in when I got my Turbo Duo. This was like on the multi CD, and hearing like the heavy metal
This is one
music.
of the ones I wanted to get running because this was the first one before Lords of Thunder.
Yeah, and this one is a beautiful game. It's all space.
It really
it's
is.
nothing too alien. It's more mechanical of anything, but it's so much fun. It's solid. It's just a solid shooter.
Does anyone happen to remember Yngwie Malmsteen? He was kind of a metal, but he was kind of like Steve Vai and Joe Satriani, where he only played guitar. That was kind of his thing.
Oh, that's cool.
But the first time I actually heard the soundtrack to Lords of Thunder and Gate of Thunder, I thought of him because it sounds almost like his style of music. So if you like that music, you should go look him up because it's very kind of
I
gothic.
might remember
metal.
that because I remember someone that was super popular but never sang. It was all just guitar.
I think Steve Vai was probably the most. No, wait. I think Joe Satriani was the most famous.
Yeah.
See, I
guitar
remember
player.
Stevie Vai more than I remember just Satriani, but personally, that's just because I think it had like his solo album where it was just kind of him just doing like crazy shit with the guitar.
Well, to me, I like Steve Vai more, but I always felt like Joe Satriani was more popular. But that's just me
like
guessing.
Steve Vai.
I like Steve Vai's funny. So.
Watching him in Crossroads at the end of Crossroads when he was playing for the devil. Remember that movie? It was a Ralph Macchio movie.
Hack the planet!
I love this look here where the thing's scrolling like it's turning. They did some good stuff with this system, man. How they pulled it off.
I like that you can take those little orbit things and have them face backwards too.
Oh yeah.
That's very kind of R-type in a way. Not completely, because in R-type you can kind of place it either in front of you.
This isn't a later level. I never even made it to this level. I had to I pulled this from the internet, but like unbelievable on how many levels deep this is, and also how hard it is and how challenging. Like you got to just watch every little dot on that screen when you're getting into these.
Yeah, this is one that if I can get more CD games working, I'll probably.
And then here we go. Here's the most beautiful, to me, the most beautiful shooter on the system, at least in the top.
Lords of Thunder. Yeah, this one's amazing. Yeah. This one's also super brutal. I don't even know if I can beat a stage on this one.
I can beat like through the first few levels, and then I run out. I just run out of continues. It just destroys me.
What's up, Eugene?
Hey, Eugene.
Oh, Eugene. What's up, man?
Hello.
Sorry, distracted by pretty colors on the screen. My bad, man.
And then the different armor, fire armor, wind armor, earth armor.
I always kind of wanted to go with the wind armor, but it didn't always work. I wanted to go with the water armor, but it didn't always work for me.
Fire's my favorite, but it's like you only get to use it once per stage, I think, or something like that. Maybe I might be wrong. I can't remember. It's been a bit since I kind of popped this one in because my CD drive is broke, so I got to, and I have to rebuy it, and it's expensive. So.
Yeah,
I'd love to find a CD emulator.
I want to get with an Analog Duo if they ever bring that thing out.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
Retroroots will do Turbografx. I'm still trying to figure out how to get the CDs to work.
I got a few of the CD games to work on it, but it's spotty at best. That's kind of why I wanted just to be able to like get discs or CDs or something like that and be able to play some of the CD games.
There's a couple of new cores. There's a couple of new cores I'm working on testing.
Yeah, I've got to mess with it some more myself, to be honest with you, because I got it working on my Steam Deck, but I haven't pushed too far to try to get the CD stuff working, which requires like specific BIOS in order to get it to work. And I've got the one that it recommends, but it doesn't work right, so I'm not quite sure what I'm doing yet. Good God,
whoever's playing this is insanely good because I would lose my life here constantly. And they're up at full power.
Yeah, and he's got that fire armor as well.
Yeah, he's got the super
he seems
fire.
To be rocking.
I love how it just like goes like a giant tube thing flamethrower, just waves. And he's almost collecting every single jewel. It's just unbelievable because afterwards you're going to buy all the shields, all the power upgrades. Oh yeah,
you're going to buy every power.
And you're going to be non-stoppable. That's the thing, is to try to be unstoppable and build up everything in this first level, and he's doing it.
Yeah, it's kind of like Forgotten Worlds in a way. There's a couple of key power-ups you want to pick up.
That's another great one. That's on PC Engine and Turbo.
Oh, is that one on PC Engine? Because
it's actually a North American Turbo and PC.
That's where I played it.
And of course, you got to have the gigantic,
I didn't
crazy
stream
mechanical boss.
That came over earlier today. Time for gaming on 101 around Lost and Metro Dread some more. Dread's great, man. I really had a lot of fun with that, but that one's. You don't really get lost in Dread very much. It gives you the illusion of being lost, but it's always kind of directing you a little.
Yeah, that's a great game. That is, and then of course,
and I'm doing that on this, man. And I've got a Pi that does it the same way. So I'm doing it on the same thing lit.
Yeah, I'm trying to get I had a Turbo CD emulator, which was perfect. It was on a hacked mini Super NES, and I got rid of it. But yeah, I'll have to get it. See, this one I don't like putting it on auto. I like picking like my own. I always pick like the little cow, basketball-looking cow with the little udders sticking out.
I like having Zonk here. I think he's neat looking.
Yeah, I like.
Well, he's Bonk's cousin, futuristic cousin.
Right. I like using auto because I get a good mix of. I get a good mix of the helper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I like the pig guy that shoots forward. You know the drill.
Oh, that kind of goes zing, zing.
The
like
drill, yeah, the drill.
Yeah, the drill. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I could see that, Jim. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, the whole thing of them combining and then turning into a super vehicle is awesome.
That is cool.
Yeah.
The second one, even though it's very rare and I should say it's not more, it's more expensive than anything. I don't think is as good as this because you didn't have as much control to select stuff and to choose when you were gonna, do that type of stuff. But the art style is still fantastic. I love the art style, man.
I think this is about as far as I got in this game. I might have gotten a smidge further.
I remember you playing this. I'm like, no, you're do this. I was like watching the stream. Because I played through and won this before. I don't know if I could do it nowadays, but when I was younger, oh man, it took me forever. But there's like a final like boss run on all the bosses in a row, and then you got to fight the main boss like basically 3 times because there's 3 of them on a platform, and then you think it's over, and then he comes back as a mechanized robot, and then you got to fight him like that as well. So it's insane.
Yeah. And Cameron, yes. Lords of Thunder was also on the Sega CD. So it's the same one.
I got as far as stage 3, the stadium. That's as far as I got. The boss on stage 3.
Oh, I call them like the pom-pom eagles or whatever. They have the big football, and then they turn into like the cheerleaders or whatever. Yeah,
right. And once they turn into the cheerleaders, I get wrecked. Because I can't dodge anything at that point.
I got like this game is very muscle memory for me. Like I learned where to go, how to move. But it has to be on original hardware.
That's how a lot of shooters work. This is just probably one of the cutest ones that I think is on the system.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I like when he morphs with the shrimp. And then of course you're gonna fight, a jellyfish satellite. It makes sense.
Sure, why not? I mean, it's like fighting a Venus flytrap that has a dinosaur on one hand and a shark on another. I did that the other day. I mean, why not?
But I like how he also always has where he can throw up a bomb. Well, here he's doing the minimal power up, but like if you hold down, no matter where you're at during the whole game, you can always hold down the button for like I think it's 3 seconds, 4 seconds, like he did right there, and he throws up a super bomb that blows up the whole screen.
Yeah, I didn't know there was an Arizona 2 either. I just knew about the first one and the CD one.
Except when you're mini zonk, and then
right, yeah, mini zonk which is good because you can get around all that little stuff when you're smaller. Believe it or not, it actually feels better. But this is where you just charge for a second, and then whatever thing you had, like the punching things he's dropping the bomb. So that's the main boss. But then that's what he turns into after you fight 3 of his henchmen in a row and the full boss rush.
I have never messed with JJ and Jeff. I'll be honest. I haven't messed with it. I've not heard good things about it. I've never messed with it.
I think that's all I have. Yep. But yeah, that's just a few of the ones I always thought were pretty iconic. I mean, there's about a million other ones too. I think feel the same way about, but that was like, I kind of threw that together last night because I was excited.
Well, we're always happy to have somebody on here and talk about, particularly consoles that we may not be as familiar with, right? Because there's a lot of stuff that we're familiar with, but Turbografx is one of those, like, I've dipped my toe into it a couple of times, but there's not as deep into the library as you've gone. And what I've touched barely scratches the surface because there's like over 600 games for the console.
Right.
When you start going into like PC Engine.
But there were some games on Turbografx that I found as I was, looking and playing and stuff big things that I had played even on my PC. Cinemaware did the TV sports games, which were phenomenal, like TV sports baseball, TV sports football, and the Turbografx versions of those games were excellent.
Yeah, I used to have all the sports, this TV sports games. Sold those. I
love those on PC. I had them for the PC.
We have not talked about Newtopia, and I think I've only messed with that one one or two times. I do have that one loaded up. I didn't mess with that one earlier today. I can't remember. I can't remember much about that one, to be honest. But
it's basically PC Engine version of Zelda, kind of a Zelda-ish quest. Almost like Zelda.
That sounds right up my alley, quite frankly.
And then a lot of people do like it better. It just depends on what you were kind of introduced to. It's a little more. I think it's a little more advanced than Zelda, but it's that kind of style. And another one I really like, I absolutely love, and I'm not an RPG guy usually, but I call it Wise, but it's called Yeast Book 1 and 2.
Yeah, I haven't messed much with the Yeast series. And let's talk about Keith Courage. Keith Courage, I remember playing that one a couple of times and thinking it was pretty fun. Yeah, Yeast.
Hold on, guys. This is I gotta actually take this. I'll be right back.
Sorry, man.
I apologize.
Yes, Mr. President.
Well,
now that Chuck's finally stopped talking, I started talking about what Turbografx 16 games I played. So actually, I only know of Bonk because I downloaded that on the Wii Virtual Console years ago. I didn't like it. I thought it was boring. And just recently, as one of the games I downloaded off of the Wii U shop was New Adventure Island, and that's the extent of Turbografx 16.
How is New Adventure Island? Because I know you call the first one
Devil's
Island.
No, I didn't call it Devil's Island. I was
sorry about that.
Someone else did. New Adventure Island is
Retro
a lot
Retro Rivals.
Retro Rivals called it. Jen that's what she calls it.
And I think you mimic that sentiment because you really struggled with that one. From my understanding, from talking to you and from your video, that you truly struggled with that one.
It is the hardest game that I've ever played. But New Adventure Island
it looks so pleasant, and then it's so cruel.
And it sounds very pleasant too. It's got a very nice, friendly soundtrack. But for
what's up, Jean-Claude? Good to see you, man.
It's a ridiculously hard game.
Yeah, the Adventure Island series I never got too into, but they're
a good game,
challenging.
dude.
Have you played New Adventure Island on the Turbografx 16?
I think I've dabbled in it a bit. I never really. I think I might have played like the first stage and kind of moved on. I don't. I do know of it, and I know there was a few, but I never got deep into it, to be honest.
I only appreciate that you can kind of move a little bit more, like it has somewhat closer to Mario physics in that game. That would mean that how he controls is one of the biggest issues with the NES, the original Adventure Island. So
yeah, that's right, because that was it was you're saying it was like a little better on
New Devil's Island.
Honestly, every sequel to Adventure Island I've played has been better and easier than the original. And Eugene, you can make fun of me too, but you struggled as hard as I did on those last entirety of the stage 8 because I had to watch your playthrough because I knew that you eventually got through all those levels and see what you did. That's how I got so burned out on getting through 8, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it was so frustrating.
No, I can totally see it, man. That game, I tried playing that game a couple times, and one of the things that's weird about it, and I'll say this about Dragon's Curse too, the movement physics feels a little weird.
Super.
It feels really
slick. Like it wants to be an endless runner.
It's almost like you're on ice. Like you don't
or it's
stop.
Like
you're sort of sliding
for the whole game, except when you're actually on actual ice in that game, and it just gets worse. So,
God.
Yeah. You should stream it though. I think we'd all enjoy that. I think the internet would literally break.
Only people that you guys would enjoy that. I would hate myself
in your stream and suck the rest of us into it.
I feel like I would do nothing but like curse the whole time because I don't even think I'd make it off of stage 1. I remember trying
Honestly,
that game a couple of times and going graphically, it doesn't look amazing to me. It doesn't look all that interesting. That's been one of the problems that I've always had with it.
There was was it Wonder Boy and Monster Land or whatever? There's it was Monster Lair for Turbografx. I thought was great. It kind of involves
Hey Dan, good to see you.
Platforming and a shooter kind of in one. And I thought the graphics were just beautiful on that one. That's
the
one of my
Wonder
favorites.
Boy games are really good. Dragon's Curse is actually one of the Wonder Boy games. So
yeah, the Wonder Boy Monster World, that's like a branch off, like a side evolution, or I don't know. I know the story, it's just really complicated.
Because I'm typing away.
okay, so we have a Darius Truxton in chat.
Is it really?
Well, a Darius. I don't know if it's the Darius Truxton. We have a
it's
Darius Truxton.
That's a
Darius
fake
does not
one,
talk
man.
about his boyfriend on
give me
the word. Give me the word.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
have the
someone
chat up.
trolling.
Got it.
I wasn't in a place to do anything about it. No, but I don't want any trouble in here from the Truxton and crew. I don't.
Yeah,
I stay off their radar, and I don't bother him or his crew. And
Hudson Soft is
I would like to be
great,
left in turn.
Yeah, Hudson Soft's a great. Someone was saying in chat was saying Hudson versus Sega. Dude, Hudson Soft did so many great games. I mean, think about a Bomberman series. Everything on the PC Engine in Turbo. If you see Hudson Soft, heck, I'll even take it all the way to the NES. You see Hudson Soft, you know you have a good game. You know.
Oh, I love the Hudson Soft stuff on Genesis. Are you kidding?
Oh, absolutely.
See, I mostly know them from like NES and stuff like Adventure Island. I don't know a lot of their library.
Mike.
Oh, you got another one back, sir.
What
Apparently.
I got it.
Sorry.
Oh.
No, you guys go ahead. I'm going to pop out the chat so I can.
No, Mazen got it.
Okay, thank you guys.
No, that's Sunsoft lit. But what Hudson games were on the Genesis besides Mega Bomberman? I'm not familiar.
Ooh, Bomberman 3 is great too, and Bonk.
They had. Give me a second.
Yes, Hudson Soft made Bonk.
They made Bonk and Air Zonk and Bomber.
Yeah, almost everything that's on the Turbografx 16. If you name a Turbografx 16 game, almost all those are Hudson Soft games.
Yeah,
because they were the main ones supporting it in the States.
Yeah, it was NEC Hudson was pretty much doing almost a ton of first party stuff.
On the Genesis, it was only Mega Bomberman, but they put out Sega CD stuff. They put out Lords of Thunder. They put out another one they put out was Dungeon Explorer and the Space Adventure.
Is there a homebrew scene for Turbografx? That's a great question, actually.
There is a few. I don't know how. I haven't really dived into it that deep, but I know there was a few. There was a couple. There was a RPG called, I think, Mysterious Song that was, I think, used to be out. I don't know if it was on PC or anything else, or what it was, but they redid it for a Turbografx homebrew, and of course, I like a dummy, I missed out and didn't buy it. Now it's probably worth $300 or something, you know.
No.
Wow, how many alt accounts do you have, pal? I'll give you you're coming in here with like 20 different alt accounts.
I think I took care of that one.
Lorna's Tasty Pastrami.
What?
What's going on?
Hi, Lorna.
Hi. Hey. As you might think, I love pastrami.
I do like me some pastrami, and
pastrami is good,
and corned beef and all those things. I mean, I like the meats. That's gonna get clipped. That's gonna get clipped.
I was just grinning. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, good night.
Ice cream was fantastic, by the way.
You're
I'm
welcome,
just letting
sir.
you know.
Hey, there's
Thank you,
the other alt account just showed up.
There we go. All right. This is a very.
I look lit
Hold
gaming
on.
says I like the meats. We got the meats. The meat sweat.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in trouble for that one for a while.
Yeah.
That's gonna make some rounds.
Oh.
Ah, well, it happens. What am I gonna do? It kind of is Whack-A-Troll night. So I've
We usually
reached
don't have trolls. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre. I have pretty much exhausted most of my knowledge of the Turbografx at this point.
My 2 games exhausted mine. So
So I ended up playing a bunch of stuff, and there's a bunch of other games that I remember that I wanted to try. I wanted to try.
It's kind of a great name. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie. That is that one is that's a new one. That's a new one.
thanks, Scepter.
I have a
Super
feeling
Volleyball.
that's a troll, but okay.
Yeah. So Super Volleyball, which also came out for the NES and the Genesis, was also good on the Turbografx. Like I said, the TV sports stuff. The TV sports stuff I really enjoyed. What else did I get? Because I ended up downloading a ton of games to try to prep for this, Chuck. That's how much I love you.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I knew I want to make sure I had played something.
I'm like looking at my list right now.
I love this comment so much.
No.
Mason wins the evening.
Yeah. So, I also played Pac-Land because I figured
Now, did you do joystick or button configuration on that?
I tried them both.
Okay. I go to the D-pad. I go to that because I can't deal with the button.
We may end up doing this again if we do when we have more experience. Then we'll get you on here. I was going to get a buddy of mine on here as well, but he I don't even know where he is today.
That was us.
But I was
thinking Psy at one point as well, but I don't know if everybody was in agreement on that.
Now,
and
Chuck,
we're going to have like
I got one question for you. Go.
Yeah.
There is a Life Force or a Salamander on the Turbografx 16?
Salamander. That is Salamander? An amazing. Okay. And I grew up with Life Force for NES. Yeah. Like, I got that for
you
Christmas.
Guys share that love for Life Force, so.
Oh my God, I love Gradius,
really
Life Force. Game. Any of those games are just amazing. Some of my favorites. But Life Force I wish I still had the box, that gray box with a snake on the cover. I got that like Christmas morning, and I did not stop until I beat that game all the way through. And it's one of my favorite games to play all the way through on the NES. Now playing Salamander on Turbo, obviously graphics are a lot better. It plays more like the Salamander arcade, which there was, but it's very difficult. And the thing I think I dislike, and maybe it's just because I didn't get the hang of it and I'm used to the NES, is when you're shooting through like a tissue wall. You know how it rebuilds behind you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes I cannot do the timing right for the life of me to even get through the first stage because the tissue seems to just destroy my ship as soon as I try to shoot through. So maybe it's me using the turbo when I shouldn't be, or I don't know. But it looks absolutely beautiful. It's a little more challenging though. But yeah, really? Right on. Right. Life Force, dude. Or
hey,
Salamander.
Awesome. Good to see you, man.
I believe that's also on the Wii U eShop. I think.
Oh, that's cool.
Is it?
I saw it.
Oh, that would be good.
I think.
Well, I had a bunch of turbo stuff on the Wii when I got from the Wii thing when the Wii was active.
And now we're just gonna spam dude.
So I want to ask you about.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah. So, Chuck, I want to ask you something about because I also, by the way, there are other great arcade games and arcade games that I liked that Turbografx did really well. Vigilante is one of them. It was an arcade game that I really liked.
Dude, but it's the fact that you just said that, and I'm sorry to interrupt. The fact you just said that, there was someone giving away, some old lady had one in her house. She goes, it's Vigilante arcade game. Doesn't work. Free pickup. I'm like, dude, I'll come get it right now. And it was like sold in a second. Like she listed it in like 10 minutes later, it was sold. I'm like, oh, I bet it was like a fuse or like something stupid. And I was gonna have Vigilante Arcade at my house. But no. Yeah.
Well, so anyway, so I wanted to ask you a separate question about the Sega games, because one of the ones that I did try out was Space Harrier. And here's what I found, and tell me if all of the Sega games are like this. If Outrun's like this, and I think Afterburner came out on Turbografx, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Yeah, Afterburner 2.
Okay, so here's what I realized. The sprite scaling on the Turbografx is much better than the Genesis. It really is. Like when I was playing Space Harrier, it felt more like the 32X version of Space Harrier, honestly, the way the sprites came in.
Yeah.
But it was slower. It's almost like they slowed the game down. It was really weird, and I couldn't put my finger on it.
Yeah, Space Harrier, I've played it a couple times. Actually I have it. I have it booted up right here. Let me see if I can find it. It's it does play weird, man. It's not my favorite version. It's weird. Simple games like that, and well, I shouldn't say, I'm sorry, that's not a simple game. Like some of the Sega games that should be more simple and easy to perform on the Turbografx play terribly. Like Altered Beast is a piece of garbage.
Oh,
but they could have done it. They could have ported it way better, but it just, I don't know if they just didn't care or what was going on.
There might have been something weird with the architecture too. So there's a quick question from Jan before you go.
Oh.
That I wanted us to answer as a panel. What would have made the Turbografx successful against a Nintendo or Sega? And one thing I would say is marketing. They got almost no marketing budget. And a second thing that I know of is, I know NEC of America wanted to bring over a list of games, one of which was Rondo of Blood, which we still haven't talked about, and that was one of the huge PC Engine games. And they never brought it over.
Right.
So a lot of the games that they thought would really sell well in the United States didn't get brought over. Now, that's just what I did with my research when I did a video on it. What are some of your guys' thoughts on that whole situation?
As far as like, I think any of the, obviously Rondo of Blood should have been brought over. We had something similar, which was Bloodlines on Genesis, which is a beautiful game. I think it's almost pretty much that game, but there is differences. I think that
Dracula X is you're thinking of.
What's that?
You're thinking of Dracula X.
I'm sorry, Dracula X. Yeah,
I agree with you. I think people like to shit on it, but I think it's still a great game. Go on.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the game. I don't think it's necessarily Rondo.
Right, but I don't think it's a bad game.
Critique with it.
Yeah, no.
That's you people. I'm just saying that people, the internet likes to shit on Dracula.
You people?
Yes. What you people?
Hey, what do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people? I just watched that the other day. Tropic Thunder.
Love that.
Great.
Love that movie.
Such a great movie. Yeah, but like stuff like that, they should have really brought. Like the PC Engine was a powerhouse of great games, and the stuff they decided to bring over for North America, like what were they smoking? Who made those decisions? They brought over some of the like the dumbest games, like, and not all of them, but I mean a lot of them I obviously fell in love with, but there was a lot of them I was like, are you serious? After seeing what they had over there, you didn't think of bringing those over here? Like,
yeah,
come on.
Yeah, my understanding is there was a lot of stuff like that, and the guys were saying that there was a big push for it in magazines and stuff like that, and I recall that now that you guys have said it, but there weren't any TV slots. So unless you were buying like video game magazines, which was a lot of kids at the time, a lot of parents and stuff didn't see it. So getting people to pick that, or getting kids to pick it over stuff that was being advertised all the time on TV, like the Genesis commercials back in the day. Are you kidding me?
No,
almost everybody wanted a Genesis just because of the commercials. And then the Super Nintendo had similar commercials that they were trying to fight back with. So there's a slew of marketing going on around that time.
Now,
just over the TV.
In California, I do remember there being commercials, because I was fully aware what the TurboGrafx 16 was.
Same here.
At least that it existed. I remember seeing it.
And you're
I
going
do remember
away,
a
dude.
TV spot, and obviously video game magazines as well. But I didn't know anyone who had it.
Sorry,
so I
Lit.
think
Didn't
if
mean
they
to pull
had
that up.
pushed
I
it
didn't
more-
realize what that was. Sorry, I gotta apologize to Lit.
Is he still? Are you still addressing the trolls?
Oh my God, we got more
It was a
trolls?
troll, and I banned him because
Okay,
that was an
I
uncalled
just
for
saw some more
comment.
popping in. Wow.
If you guys have dissenting opinions, that's fine. If you're going to personally attack people that are friends of the channel, you're gone. Straight out gone. I will not tolerate that here.
For most people. Now, who is he even talking about?
I don't know,
Yeah,
some
yeah.
Amico Forever guy. I don't know. He's
Yeah.
a guy that doesn't need to be
You're
part of my
trolling the
channel.
Amico show. That's fine.
Yeah, a guy that doesn't need to be part of my channel. That's
There you
really all that needs to be said.
There you go.
People not
It was
seeing
a
the big
hard time for any
Turbografx.
other console because remember that even the Super Nintendo got resistance. People did not want to buy a lot of. They thought the NES was enough.
Right. Yeah. Why have another?
So I mean,
one,
Sega had a huge push that really helped, but there's no way that the TurboGrafx 16 could ever take a bite out of the market like Genesis could, not without that same. Who was it? Who was doing that at the time? Was that Bernie Stoller? No, it was the other guy who was behind the aggressive Genesis marketing.
Kolinsky, Tom Kolinsky.
Yeah, Kalinsky.
Oh, they got it. If the Turbo did a half of that, they would have been a little more successful. I remember the commercial.
I don't know they would have dethroned like Sega. Sega was doing a lot of stuff to throw in their way too. Like when they were about to bring out the Turbo Duo, they rushed the Sega CD to market to try to knock out some of the wind out of their sales there. And there was a couple other things that both the consoles did to kind of like really.
Like I remember seeing Bonk on TV. So it's like they were clearly using Bonk the same way that Sega eventually used Sonic.
Right.
But if they had just gotten at least one of my friends to buy or ask for a
it might have been good. That as opposed to Bonk.
Christmas, something that could have really helped just have one in every community. I don't know. But I was aware of it. No one had it.
Oh, we got so many good comments tonight. Oh my goodness.
That's awesome, man. Hey, I got to take off. Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
It's fine, dude. We've been running for about an hour and a half. Before you drop out, what do you got going on?
The ladies need DJC.
That's right. That's right.
The ladies. That's not the case, but that's awesome. It's awesome that you paint me in that light. Yes, that's what that's exactly.
What you got going on your channel this week, man?
Right now I am working on some Turbografx stuff, believe it or not. So I have a little run of Tiger Road, but it was before I had figured out I can use my Turbografx Mini. Well, I should say Cy was the one that kind of pointed out. I'm using my Turbografx Mini onto my Pi so I could my mini controller because it's USB. So I can actually start playing like stuff like Ninja Spirit and even Tiger Road, which I did without before on that video. But yeah, I'm gonna do a couple runs on some Turbo games. I might even dive into it like an Airzonk run. And then I was thinking of doing some NES. It's funny. Mr. Matthews just talking about that. I was gonna do a Life Force a full run because I haven't done it in a long time. So that might be coming up later in the week. But then I'm heading out to Nashville for the weekend, so might have a little video vlog on that.
Nice.
By the way, that reminds me. Do you have any of the 8-bit controllers? Because I think they have turbo functionality on them.
I do. I have this, but I've lost the input for it. The little thing you plug into to use it.
Oh, it's just USB-C, dude.
So can I actually use a USB-C cord and use it as well?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
well, I don't know that. I'm stupid.
Or you could just buy like a USB connected Bluetooth connector and do it that way.
Well, I have a bunch of those, but none of the ones I have will work with this for some reason.
Okay,
I have like 3 of them, and none of them would work.
Okay,
but which is weird. I don't know why.
It'll work with a USB-C cable.
Yeah, well, I have those,
I think we had that conversation.
We probably did, and I don't remember, but Yeah, but no, I have one of those too.
Those flamingos aren't going to milk themselves. Okay, that's a good.
That's exactly what's happening. I need to milk the flamingos. Potion.
Oh my god.
But anyways, yeah, great. And I'd love it. You know what I'd love to do if you. I don't know if you guys do like on Astro Smash. We do these like high score challenges and stuff. I wouldn't mind picking out like a 16-bit game, whether it be Sega or Nintendo, or to be honest, I'd really love us all to like pick like a Turbografx game and see how high we like. Maybe something that we all are not familiar with, so we're not like if it's something I grew up with, it's not going to be fair or whatever. But like,
right.
Like if we pick
whoa.
Oh, what are you saying? You could probably beat me on a Turbografx game, Mike?
Hold on. That's awfully confident of you.
Yeah, I am very confident.
If it's something I grew up with, you guys go right. If I grew up playing it, you don't have a chance.
All right, well, so let's do an air zone.
Yeah, I guess you're just
see who can get
there's
further.
Your invitation, Chuck.
Well, since I got to stage
gave you permission
3 on my first run through, I bet I could get there.
All right, let's do air zonk. Let's all either do a video or maybe we'll come back at some point. But let's do an air zonk challenge and see how far.
We'll figure that off
can
offline, and then when we do, what I'll do is I'll make an announcement on the channel through like a video and on the community page, and then you guys can maybe do something similar, like inviting other people to participate. Maybe we can even get people to send things in and see who kind of does what on it. That might be kind of fun to involve the larger community on that.
We could also ask the community what they want us to try and play.
There you go.
That way, there's no bias. There's no.
Wow, he's a little bit of backpedaling there, I noticed.
I know I'm not in the running, so I could just sit back and laugh. Just gonna eat popcorn.
I did not.
I'd say the worst at this point that I would do on Airzone, because I haven't played a full through in years. I'd say worst case scenario, I get to the first boss rush and might maybe fail there and have to practice again. But I don't see me getting any less than that, man. Like if you're only making it to stage 3, that's not even fair.
Wow. All right, Chuck. All right.
Now, with that being said, though,
see, I don't even consider myself in the running on this. I'll do it, and I'll probably have the worst score, and that's okay.
I did. I mean,
guys, thank you so much. I appreciate everything and having me on here, and it was so much fun. I wish I could be longer. We got to do this again for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
But
I did not do this. I never messed with the inside of my Super Nintendo, my man. I never did that, Omni. Probably people
like the most foolproof mod you can attempt. So you barely even call it a mod. It's really it's like you might as well do it. It doesn't make sense not to. That's how easy it is.
Chuck,
you're losing money if you don't do it.
Yeah, and Chad, thanks to Chad as well. I know I wasn't typing in there, but I appreciate all you guys. Hey, if you like a silly guy that does silly game stuff, subscribe to my channel. It's
do subscribe to DJC Game Studios
channel.
If the link isn't in there now because I didn't edit it in to get all the links. If we can post it in chat for everybody right now,
I got it,
and I will fix it in post. I'm gonna put it in the description. Is all I'm gonna say. All right,
if you put the GUG links in there, his is in there.
But take care, everyone.
I'm just fighting because it's Mike, and I like fighting with Mike.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. No good deed goes unpunished with you.
No, it doesn't. It's part of my rules.
I know. So, by the way, I wanted to next time he's on, I do want to ask him because I'm new enough to the Turbografx that I never understood why they went with 2-button controllers, and then all of a sudden there was a 6-button controller, and I didn't really catch the.
We may bring him back on here. By the way, we have a couple new people in here, so I'm going to pimp out my other channel, obviously. Some of you guys know about this, some of you guys don't. I have a dedicated kind of gaming history channel now that I'm migrating a lot of my history stuff over there, and this is going to be more of a streaming hangout channel, along with a couple of videos on things that I don't think fit there. One of which I'm going to try to do sometime this week. It probably won't be very long. It's just going to be highlighting an early access game that I got mentioned to me that I think is fun, that if you're into retro games and you want something that's kind of new and indie this would be right up your alley. It's very Star Fox influenced. So look for that if you guys are into that kind of game. And spoiler alert, it runs good on the Steam Deck as well. And it's a Steam game. So we'll be going into that a little bit, hopefully this week.
Nice.
So there's that if you guys don't have it. Is there anything else we wanted to cover on Turbografx? It is like 10 o'clock. Wow, it's 10 o'clock. We've been going.
Yeah. I'm actually, I might be doing a little streaming and maybe even a little Genesis comparisons of stuff, because there are definitely games on both that are worth comparing. Now that I downloaded it and I'm actually trying it out here real quick. Lords of Thunder does work in the Retroroots core. So I'm gonna do a little T16 versus Sega CD, and I want to see where some of these games stack up.
I never played the Sega CD version. I know that the Turbografx version runs great.
No, the Sega CD version runs phenomenal, but there's got to be some little differences because the color palette on the Turbografx 16 is better by a large margin.
That's fair, Lit. That's fair. Fine. That's fair. Shot fired. And they're fair shots. It's fine.
Oh, absolutely, Carla. Absolutely. In fact, so I'm going to talk to the boys.
Yeah, I need to do more
tonight.
group TMNT because I did it for a couple of hours with you guys, and that was a blast.
Here's the thing, and it's been a struggle lately, on Tuesday nights because there isn't much to talk about in the world of modern gaming right now because it's summertime, and summertime's been really slow, and we've come to the point to where I don't want to force just a show where we just sit there and just talk about the same shit everybody else is talking about. So we've been doing streams. So last week we played Forza Horizon 5's thing. We've been doing Fall Guys
thing. That's amazing looking. I gotta pick that up.
That really is. You do. And
oh my god, it's amazing.
So let me talk to the guys maybe tomorrow night again in lieu of a show where we're just not going to talk about anything. Maybe we'll do some more Fall Guys. And Carla, we'd love to have you in. Absolutely.
Yeah, I have a hard time joining you guys on Tuesday because I already streamed for almost 2 hours on Tuesday, and my wife is ready to actually spend some time with me at that point.
That's when you hand her the controller and say, "You play for a while." Because I would love for her to play with us.
Yeah, it's getting her in on that. I don't know if she'd do TMNT. She might do Fall Guys.
I think she would like Fall Guys. I think she would like Fall Guys.
She'd probably have fun with TMNT. I think she'd die a lot as she was adjusting to it. Because it takes a little bit of adjustment if you haven't played beat 'em up. If you're used to beat 'em ups, they're pretty simple and it's pretty easy. Just kind of plow through it and it's not too bad. If you haven't really played a lot of beat 'em ups, it can be a little weird getting used to the spacing. Because it's always a struggle on those when you're getting used to them. Sounds like gravy, whatever that means. I love our chat.
Yeah, I have family in the deep south in Mississippi, and that's what Carla sounds like the one time I've heard her talk. So
she sounds like she's from like Tennessee, Georgia, Mississippi area.
She does sound like she's from Georgia. I agree with that.
Yeah, because I grew up like around southeastern Tennessee, right on the border of Georgia. So it was kind of like all one big dialect around there. So she sounds like half the people I grew up with. So I don't have a whole lot else to say right now. I've got new videos coming out on the other channel this week.
Really lit.
What?
Let's try and tell me what people.
Mississippi sounds like Georgia. No, you may be right. I haven't spent a lot of time in Mississippi, and I think Lit lives in Georgia, so he probably knows better than I do. But yeah, I've got a couple things coming out there, so that'll be fun this week. I do have a stream tomorrow. I'll be doing a stream there between like 7 and 7, somewhere around 5:30, 6 o'clock to like 7:30. I have no idea what I'm going to stream yet. That's something I struggle with every week. Is like, what the heck am I going to play? I know you guys want to see me rage on Adventure Island. I'll just break down and do that. So you guys can laugh as I get nowhere on that game. Because I promise you I'm going to get nowhere. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got going on in this channel. The rest of the stuff's all scheduled out on the other channel. And then I'm just trying to keep up with like work. Yeah, what I need to do is I need to break out the VS and plug that in and play some of those. Because I've got a bunch of really cool like indie games like Micro Mages and Flea and a bunch of others like those that are really good. And I do something like that too one day. I need to do that more often. So anyway, Rob, what you got?
Nothing. just watching YouTube this week.
Nothing wrong with that. Mike, what you got?
So I put out Atari VCS video this weekend. My third. That was covering the controllers.
Hey Dyer, good to see you, man.
Hey Dyer. So hopefully, if you are any bit interested in checking out how the controllers work, especially the classic controller, this is a good video for you. I'll figure out what we're going to do tomorrow night. I'm working on what might be our last video games monthly box. Are
you just canceling it?
Yeah.
Just not worth it anymore?
Well, it's not that I love doing the videos with Seth, but the truth of the matter is he doesn't play any of the games. And the only games I really play are I love collecting the Xbox stuff and the Xbox 360 stuff, but like all the Wii U games the Wii games, and when we were collecting the DS game, he just never plays them. So I'm not collecting Wii and stuff just to collect. And the PlayStation 2 stuff that I was getting has been kind of... So here's the weird thing. I'm almost ready to go try to find a cheap PS2 and an HDMI cable, because PS2 is still the one thing, and I don't understand why, the one thing that does not emulate well. And it doesn't matter if it's RetroArch. It doesn't matter if it is PCSX2 native, which is what the core is for RetroArch. It doesn't matter if I do it on my VCS, which has a Ryzen processor and a decent video card, or over here on my beast of a i7 with 32 gigs of memory. Some games work great. Other games are garbage. And Ashley. Hi, Ashley. So it's just not worth collecting PS2 games if I don't really have a PS2 to play them on. So, it's the video games monthly box isn't really worth it. And if I find something at a retro store for the Xbox, they're still cheap right now, and I could just pick them up. So I think I'm going to cancel that subscription. Unfortunately.
I can see that. That's kind of the reason I haven't picked those up, because I know you can kind of pick which console that you're collecting for, or a selection of them, and kind of focus a little bit.
But there are some that I almost always never get for either. So, I've never gotten a Dreamcast game. And I'm like, well, that's one of the things I'd like to collect for. The only time I ever got a Dreamcast game was with Retro Game Treasurer. So
can you narrate your games
yes.
that you...
Yeah, so I could. But the other thing, too, is I've been going to the YMCA for the gym, but they've started to close 15 minutes earlier than their actually closing time.
That's very
and
hard.
I got into a deep debate with the Y manager as to why, if it says 9 p.m. on the door, you shouldn't be throwing out your customers at 8:45. So
you see deep conversation. At what volume was that?
I don't get.
It's a solid question.
It is a solid question. I don't get, because as an IT person, I have been on the other end of this. I don't get into voice raised conversations with people over things. I don't do that to people. I don't yell at them. We had a philosophical discussion about what closing time and what the time on the door meant.
Oh,
So,
happy anniversary, Dart. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no, hey.
That's dude, I'm not even worried about that, man.
You have an excellent
anniversary first, my dude.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? You could go back and watch this later. Your anniversary comes first. Happy wife, happy life. Yeah. So, but the issue is I'm a late workout guy because I have kids and a job and stuff. So when you cut 15 minutes out of that, after a year and a half of going there, I was a little perturbed, especially when I'm like in my last bit of my workout and they turned off the lights. And I'm like, you guys have never done this before. No, well, we're enforcing it now. Enforcing what? It says 9 p.m. on the door. So all that said, that money from Video Games Monthly is going to go to a Planet Fitness subscription where they're open 24/7.
I was about to say, there's a couple of gyms that are open 24/7.
And even on the weekends when they're not 24 hours, they're open till 9, which means on Saturday and Sunday, I can even get a late workout in. And I was talking to a guy and he goes, no, 9 o'clock means at 9 o'clock, we'd like you to leave. I'm like, so you're not going to throw me out at like 8:30? No, 9 o'clock.
Is it the main manager doing that, or is it just like
it's the manager? And so
because if it's just the people he's hired to help, they're probably just wanting to go home right at 9, right, and not have to clean up.
Which is BS. That's not how life works. But at the same time, I'm like, and I said to him, I said, you are making it now impossible for me to work out here. I am now going to have to go. I'm going to have to cancel my Y subscription, so my membership. So you are going to lose that money. And I'm going to go spend markedly less to go to Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
And that didn't seem to faze the guy. So,
hey, if they don't, there's plenty of gyms that go under because they can't keep membership. If you want to like start losing members, and go right ahead.
Yep.
That's their business.
That's why I told him. I was like, okay. So
yeah, see, Lid's saying all the Planet Fitness locations are 24/7, and we've got 24/7 fitness around here, and then we've also got Lifetime Fitness around this area, and they're 24/7 as well.
Yeah, and so, I don't mind even if it's open till 10 or 11 o'clock, right? Because at least 10 o'clock is like the latest I'll ever be at a place. Like I'll never be there.
There was times when I was working overnights and I just kept that scheduled that sometimes I would go to the gym membership, but we've got exercise equipment here now that I have in the house, so I just use that. And I kind of prefer that going to the gym sometimes, because I was always that guy that ended up running into the guy that was like on the one piece equipment that I needed, that decided to have a conversation. And like, it didn't seem to matter what kind of motions I made outside of just pushing somebody out of the way to get on the piece of equipment. And I'm just like, and a lot of times too, I wasn't using as much of the gear. And I'm like, you know what? Just buying the equipment and having it in my house would save me so much money. Because the Lifetime Fitness one was like, God, I want to say it was over $100 a month, which was ridiculous for both me and Nicole. And she wasn't even using her half of it when we were going there. Eventually, I signed up with like Crunch. That was like $10 a month, which is infinitely more reasonable. But I didn't keep that one because it was only over at the office and I didn't want to drive across town to go to the gym. So I ended up scrubbing that one because a lot of times I'd be too tired after work if I end up running late from work to want bother to go. So I just found other ways of doing it at the house. Anyway, that's my own gym going story. So Let's apparently got a black membership on it. There's a fitness anytime, and both are 24/7.
And they have like hydroponic and massage chairs and stuff that you can take advantage of, and I can bring a guest and I'll tell you what, man, the guy who was showing me around Planet Fitness today, I couldn't do any of the workout stuff. He says, you really got to sign up for that. I said, but I'll tell you what, he gave me tokens for the massage chair. He said, before you go, try this chair. And I sat in a chair and holy crap. I almost fell asleep in it, while this thing was just kneading my back into a pretzel. And I got up and I said, yeah, I'm going to get a membership. I'll be back.
Yeah.
So,
and I can see that, Lit. I probably do need to do that when I'm in a gym. I don't know. Usually I just go find another piece of equipment because it's easier than having the discussion with somebody.
yeah. And sometimes,
especially in some place like Lifetime, there's so many pieces of gear.
Yeah.
Like half the time I can get like lost just trying to figure out what the hell this one does differently than the one beside it.
Well, yeah, I mean, but see, the thing too is sometimes you then end up talking to the person that you're, because there have been times when I've asked that and we've ended up like swapping sets, right? So I do my set, he do it. And then I talk to the guy for a few minutes and then start talking to him next time I'm in the gym. So sometimes talking to these folks and asking them if you can use the equipment, sometimes it's not that bad.
I don't know. I haven't had a gym membership in so long because usually what I've got downstairs is enough because we've got like a big kind of multi-station thing. I can do like squats on it. I can do push-ups on it. I can do pull-downs, kind of like arm extensions and that kind of thing. I can do leg extensions and curls on it. It's got a dip station, but I don't like that one. We bought a separate thing for like dips. That's just like a rack that's got a decent amount of weight to it that I use for like dips and pull-ups and stuff like that. I kind of want to get a power rack so I could just use the bar and put the weights on that because I originally got this thing. It's in like a U shape and it's on like an armature, so it removes some of the weight when you lift it, and I'm not having to like balance it because it's not free weights. So that's not great. But it was better for Nicole when we got it because using straight bar for her is difficult because she's very curvy. This worked around that, and that's why we got it. So I kind of want to get something else for that so I can do more because the power rack will do almost everything I need to do and then some just by being able to rack the weight in there. And that would probably be ideal. Yeah. Yeah, a power tower. Yeah. It would do pretty much almost everything I needed to do with the addition of like a good bench. It would be perfect for me. And
Carla, a minute even talking about exercise is longer than a normal minute, so I'm with you on it.
Well, I mean, and I don't know if I can stretch out the cable here a little bit. I've got those, and I mean, I've got up to 30s down there, and then I've got a bench, and so I'll throw on something on TV, riff tracks or something like that, and I'll do something.
Yeah, absolutely, Lit. I don't disagree with you in the slice, man. Yeah, and I've got some of those adjustable weights. I forget what the name brand is. It's kind of like the power grip ones where you can adjust them, but they're Bowflex ones, and they go up to about 52.5 pounds.
God, I haven't heard.
Which for most things, that's enough weight for me. The only thing it wouldn't be enough weight for me is like bench sometimes if I want to do like heavy dumbbells on bench, but for everything else, it's perfectly fine. I don't do like super heavy weights on like curls or like tricep extensions or anything like that. So usually somewhere around like, anywhere between 35 and 45 pounds is fine for me. So yeah. Anyway, that's my gym experience, and we've totally lost Rob. I was like, whatever.
Rob is naturally fit and cut. That's why
he doesn't
need to work out.
My wife is making fun of me for that this weekend. She, because I do have a terrible diet, and she doesn't understand how I should be a lot more overweight. Because we were watching. I don't know if anyone else is subscribed to Game Dave, but he has this video that he just came out with of him losing weight using the Wii Fit and then the one for the Joy thing for the Switch. So he exercised and only exercised using the video game peripherals, and he lost enough weight to win a contest at work.
Wow.
So she and Game Dave and I are built very similarly. So she was amazed that I don't work out at all, and I eat the way I do, and I don't gain weight yet. So I don't know what it is either. My dad's all fat too. I don't.
Probably just got a good metabolism, man.
I guess so. Either that or all those tapeworms I've been fighting off.
That's fair. It's totally fair. All right,
That
guys.
was a
Any
weight
last
loss
thoughts? We've been
technique
going for
back in
almost
the-
2 hours. I should probably spend a little bit of time with my wife before I go right back to work around like 11:45.
That sucks, man.
It's this job, dude.
I know.
I'm looking.
I know you are.
looking.
And I keep seriousness, man, I keep my fingers crossed for you all the time.
I mean, it's not a hard job. Realistically, it's just weird, uncomfortable hours. That's all. All right. Nobody's got anything. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're done with the topic for tonight. It went really, really, really awkward silence. I'm gonna boo. Okay. Time of death.
That's all right.
Thank you, everybody who came in, hung
Nick's
out.
Swedish style light
That's
ice
right.
cream.
That's right. That's right.
200.
You don't get a body like this without food like that.
But no, look, dude, no sugar added. Seriously.
No sugar ice cream sounds wrong and evil.
And yet it tasted great.
Not as bad as you think.
No, it really did not taste that bad. It didn't taste like chalk and Pepto-Bismol. I mean, it really didn't.
Was that an option?
That's what most of these fat-free, sugar-free ice creams usually taste like. But no, this was. I mean, I'm dead serious. This was excellent. I am going to get this again. And usually, if I want a snack, these days I've been doing those soft pretzels. Good night, Carla.
Yeah, those are good too.
But if I eat 2 of them, it's 360 calories. This is less than 2 of them. This is really impressive.
I may have to see if I can find that. You'll have to send me a link to it.
22 grams of fiber, so I'm going to poop before I go to bed.
We talked about stuff going on in the channel. Turbografx is good. People should try more of it. If you're not a fan, give it a shot. I think you might be surprised with some of the fun stuff you find on it. It definitely had some of the more unique, quirky stuff that came out in the 90s, I feel like. And it's definitely worth taking a look at. You're more than likely going to find more than a few gems you're going to enjoy. Absolutely. But thank you guys for hanging out. We had a blast. You guys had a blast. We will see you guys not next Monday, but the Monday after. And I may start trying to work a few other things in. I'm still debating on what the hell I'm going to do there. Anyway, have a good night. Love all you guys. Thank you so much.
Not everyone.
Happy gaming.
Check out Nick's cartridge video.
Yeah, that one's on the Geek Storian channel that I linked in chat earlier. I also tweet this out on my Twitter account. That's for this channel.
Rob's channel.
Yeah, go to Rob's channel. Yeah. Subscribe to Rob's channel. Subscribe to Mike's channel. Subscribe to Chuck's channel.
And also Eugene. He's right down there.
And Eugene. Eugene's awesome, by the way.
Point in the right direction.
If you guys don't know Eugene is a great guy. He has super fun streams. He is a blast to hang out with. Lit is also another awesome guy who does some great streams. Dyer has been streaming with his wife, Betty, and they do some really good stuff as well. So those are just a few channels you guys should be kind of like digging into and checking out. Lots of awesome stuff out there, guys. Lots of awesome stuff. But for now, we're going to bounce. Have a great night.
Play out, gamers.